Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin and I'm the author of The Empowered Divine Feminine, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman in the 21st Century and Beyond. All of my 11 published books are available on Amazon. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for subscribing below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I do tarot and astrology readings. You can book that at my website, michellefondinauthor.com. Welcome to our book series on this book, The Empowered Divine Feminine. And we are working on chapter 6 in this book, which is Becoming Empowered in Romantic Relationships. And the topic for today is why we find ourselves in bad relationships, bad romantic relationships. So I am going to break this down for you because it's something that I figured out myself and it's something that I write about in this book. So if you are interested, please do stay tuned. Bad relationships, not a great thing, right? Maybe you have found that it's been a repetitive pattern in your life. I know for me, that certainly was the case, where I was in one bad relationship after another, and I couldn't quite figure out why. I mean, the relationship would start out great. A lot of attraction, a lot of attention, great conversations. And then as I got into the relationship, I realized there were some major problems in every single one. And it wasn't until I got clear on the major problem as to the why. Why did I find myself in these really bad relationships? And the main reason was because I was not crystal clear on my core values. And again, in chapter 6, I really speak about the principle of core values. Now, you might be wondering, what are core values? Core values are your non-negotiables. The things that if you don't have them in a relationship, it's going to make for a bad relationship for you. It's going to reach levels of frustration for you that are insurmountable, okay? And myself included, remember, I was like this for many decades of my life until I figured this out, that the core values that you hold near and dear to your heart that are unique to you, because everybody has very different core values, you must have those fulfilled in a major romantic relationship that is long-term and committed. Otherwise, you're going to have trouble in River City. It's just going to be problematic. Now, one major reason why you ignore your core values, or maybe you didn't get clear on them, or you don't even know your core values, is because when you enter into a romantic situation with someone, you go for the attraction factor. You go for the chemistry, you go for the way someone looks, how someone makes you feel, and the rest completely goes out the door. And I know that was the case for me. I would be really attracted to this guy. I would find him irresistible, or I would find him really sexy, or he had an amazing personality, very magnetic, very attractive. And all I could think about was, this is going to be an amazing relationship. And in the beginning, it may have even been amazing, where the attraction was there, the intimacy was just out of this world amazing, and he was so smart and sexy and cute, and I was proud to be out in public with him. And then when the dust settled, I began to realize that this person did not fulfill any or very little of my major core values. And often we enter into relationships this way. We gloss over the greater details of a person's life and what they stand for in the way of their values. Now, one of the reasons might be that you think that you can change them, or you think that love will change them. You might be thinking, well, this person has A, B, C, or D flaws, and our core values do not align. However, if he really loves me, or if she really loves me, it's going to change. They are going to change because love changes and transforms. Or maybe you might even be putting off your own core values until you're further into the relationship in thinking, well, I don't even know if this is going to work. This is just the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth date. I'm not even sure if this is going to work. Let's just see where things go. And if you overlook that, then you're going to find yourself in a situation where you're already committed, you're already involved in this person's life. Or if you are a woman, most likely, you're going to be bonded to them chemically through the chemistry of the bonding chemical oxytocin, which is what women produce to bond to their babies, but they also produce it when they are intimate with a partner. And so you're already bonded to them, and you have overlooked whether or not this person fulfills your core values. So what are some core values that you might be overlooking, or maybe you didn't even get crystal clear on? One of those core values might be honesty. Honesty, like someone who is really honest as a person. Honest to you, honest to other people, honest in their job, honest in the way they go about life. And you might be thinking, well, like everybody lies sometimes, or those little white lies, they don't just mean anything. But it's an overall value. And if your core value is honesty as one of them, and you find this person telling little untruths, little white lies here and there to maybe you or other people, or maybe he tells little white lies to get what he wants, then that is really a testimony to that person's character. And rest assured that if that person feels very comfortable being dishonest in the earlier parts of the dating process or the relationship, then chances are that person is not going to be honest further down the road, and maybe might be more loosey-goosey about his own sense of honesty with himself and with others. And again, that's not going to match up with your core value of honesty. Another core value might be someone who has an active lifestyle, or who is physically fit and likes to go out on adventures. Adventure hikes, they like to go skiing, they like to go surfing, because that matches your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is, my core value is, I like to keep active, and I would like a partner who likes to keep active too. Now, if you ignore that because the hunk that you just met, this gorgeous fella that you just met, or lady fella that you just met, is a couch potato, meaning they're a homebody. They don't like going out. They just like staying by the TV with a hot cup of tea or a hot cup of coffee, and they just like sitting at home, and they're not into skiing, surfing, or hiking, or going out on adventures at all. But you're like, they're so cute, they're so adorable, they're so friendly. And you will find yourself extremely frustrated as you move forward in that relationship because it doesn't match your core value of adventure and an active lifestyle. Another core value might be the vision on a sex life, for example. Now, this is one that trips people up because in the beginning, someone might be more sexually active than who they actually are in real life, meaning as they get settled into a relationship, that could change. But that is a really good conversation to have. So if your core value in a long-term relationship is a healthy couple, a healthy long-term committed couple, has sex maybe once a week, and your partner is like, no, 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 no. A healthy long-term couple is having sex once a day. That's not going to match up. Why isn't it going to match up? Because if your stance is once a week, you are going to feel pressured every single day to perform or to bend to that person's needs, wants, and desires as far as what they esteem to be a good sex life. And then you're going to find yourself in a whole host of problems. And so getting clear on whether or not that is a core value for you and what it looks like for you, you have to do that ahead of time. You need a list of your core values, and you need to look at that list and really determine what are my major core values in a long-term relationship, in a long-term partnership. What are the things for me that are absolutely positively non-negotiable? About 10 years ago, I was talking to a coaching client. So as some of you know, I have done life coaching. I did more health coaching, mind, body, soul health coaching between the years of 2008 and 2018. And so I was in a health coaching session with a client, and we spoke about her romantic life because that's part of mind, body health, right? How happy are you in your romantic relationships? How happy are you in your family relationships? That's all part of mind, body, spirit health. We were talking, and I remember this conversation. It happened about 10 years ago, but I remember this conversation. And she said, I finally found the person that I'm going to marry. I finally found this person. We're engaged, we're gonna get married, and I'm really happy. And she said, it took me years to find the right person because I had the wrong vision. And what she was talking about was I was not clear on my core values before. And so before, when I would date, I would look at that person for who they were, and I would give them the benefit of the doubt, which most of us do. And so she said, I would go on one date, then I go on another date, then I might see some red flags or things that might not mesh with my lifestyle, but then I go on a third date and say, well, maybe this isn't really what it is, and then I go on a fourth and fifth date. And pretty soon, I'm at my sixth date, and I've wasted 6 to 8 weeks of my life knowing full well by date number 2 that it wasn't going to work. But I wasted my time thinking it might work and then realizing, okay, here we are week 6 or 7, and I know it's not gonna work. And so she said, what I did was I got really, really clear on my non-negotiables. And as soon as I saw that there was a non-negotiable that showed up during a date, I would immediately cut it off. I'd be like, nope, sorry, thank you, but no thank you, let's go our separate ways. And she said, that is how I found my person. Because I was very clear on what core values were so important to me, and I wasn't willing to negotiate away those core values. And that should go for you as well, and me as well. If you think that you can change a person, or that the situation might change, or the relationship might change because of the energy dynamic between you and this person, or the chemistry, or the attraction, or the sex, or whatever it is, you are fooling yourself. And that's how we, as a global whole, find ourselves in bad relationships. Because the lack of those core values being present at the beginning of a dating situation, they do not go away 6 months or a year or 2 years into the relationship. They will still be there, rest assured. Someone who is inherently dishonest will always be inherently dishonest, for example. Someone who has been a couch potato for 50 years of their life, 40 years of their life, is not likely to become a very active person after 40 or 50 years. It's just not likely to happen. Or perhaps you have the wish for someone who has a fair amount of wealth so that you can live a decent lifestyle. Or maybe it's really important to you to be able to get married and stay at home with the kids, and you want a spouse who's going to be able to support you in those efforts to be able to stay at home with the kids. But you're dating a guy who only makes $30,000 a year. That's not a realistic goal. He could be the smartest, sexiest, most handsome person on the planet. But if your core need is to be a stay-at-home mom, and you want to stay at home with your kids, and you want to be able to raise them from home while a spouse supports you financially, that's never gonna work. It is not likely to change. And wishful thinking is not going to change that. And it doesn't have to be a lot of core values. Most of us have anywhere between 5 and 10 core values. And when I speak about core values, it has usually to do with morality, right? Morality is a big one. So honesty would be a moral value, like trust, moral value. It has to do with finances and money. So the literal lifestyle that you would like to lead. Sex is a big one, right? In long-term relationships, what is your vision on that? What are your do's and don'ts, right? So someone that might be into S&M and you're like, absolutely not, that would be violating your own core value if you are 100% against that, but the partner that you're with is 100% for it. Activity levels, right? Travel, sports, going out, being with friends, entertaining friends, that is another core value. And so when you think about your 5 to 10 major core values or your non-negotiables, write them down. Write them down and read them and reread them. And if you need to prune them down, because the non-negotiables are 100% non-negotiable, right? It's not the ones that you might be flexible on, okay? So if you do not want to date a smoker, and that is a 100% non-negotiable that's never gonna change, not here, not now, not in the future, then that's your non-negotiable, right? That's one of them. But if you're like, I'm kind of okay with someone who drinks on occasion, even though I don't want that person drinking every day, then that's kind of a flexible value, right? Like someone who might have a nice glass of wine with dinner, but not someone who drinks every day. You know, there's some gray area in there to be negotiated. This is your homework. Empowered Divine Feminine, this is your homework. Get super clear on your 5 to 10 core values. Write them down, read them in the morning, read them at night. And as you're going out on dates, read them before your dates so that you can really look for those and be like, okay, if one of these 5 to 10 core values show up as being the opposite of my core value, then I know that it'll be time to cut off that date and not see this person again. Because I know that things are not going to change. Things are not going to get better. And you have to look at things that way, even though people do change and they can change, but you need to look at it that way if you want to get to the final goal, if your goal is to be in a long-term relationship. So I hope this was helpful. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this video with others who need some relationship help to become empowered in their romantic relationships. Thank you so much for your support of my YouTube channel. I have 11 published books. They're all on Amazon. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.